what devices do we have and how their functions are called. In the end, each network consists of a PLC and its dedicated field devices, and we call them in PROFINET the controller, mainly the PLC, maybe also a PC, wherever your control application is running. And the field device is then the dedicated device somewhere in the field drop IO node, whatever you will call this device. From PROFINET perspective, it's called PROFINET device. So what do we do? Yeah, we have different services that we provide with the PROFINET protocol. One thing is to configure the device. What means configuration? Yeah, let's imagine we have an analog input module, and you can then configure if this analog input module should run with current measurement or with voltage measurement, or should it be, let's say, 0 to 10 volt or 5 to 10 or whatever. This is something you can configure if the device supports this function. Yeah, but this is what we understand under configuration. The process data in the end is then the real-time data exchange. That means here we communicate in a real-time behavior with what real-time behavior we configure in the beginning, but then we, for instance, we set up each millisecond, I want to get some information, or even faster or slower, doesn't matter. So then you get our process data. And last but not least, there's also a possibility to send alarms to diagnose this device. So maybe there is an open measurement channel. That means that your sensor cable is broken. Then this is something that can be diagnosed. Or it can also send an alarm, for instance, that you set up if I have a measurement, something between 0 to 10 volt. And if the voltage is going over 9 volt, I want to get an alarm. Then this is something you can also configure, and then the device automatically sends that alarm. That means then your PLC user program is not obligated to look there each millisecond. If the value has been risen, then the device sends you an alarm, and immediately then that task that is handling the alarm can be fired. These are the services that are provided by PROFINET. Oh, and last but not least, we have a third station here in our network. This is the PROFINET supervisor. So also PROFINET here supports functions that the device can be diagnosed directly, or we can send status control information to the device. We can also send additional parameters to the device. It makes sense, for instance, if this would be here a drive. So such a drive has about 20,000 parameters, and it doesn't make sense to configure at startup each and every of these parameters by the controller. Normally you do this once, and you do the commissioning of the machine, then all of these parameters will be set, but they are machine or even drive dependent, and that's why you do this once, and then normally it's inside of the drive, and then you can forget it. So do it once and then it's there. And that's why at each start of the station, it's not necessary to configure all of these parameters. That's why you do this once, and PROFINET gives you this freedom to do so. Of course, the ways here can be also implemented over an own vendor-dependent way. This is, of course, also suitable. Yeah, and also on the same wire, because of we are using standard Ethernet, and that's why beside the PROFINET protocol, there can be also the coexistence of standard TCP/IP protocol. So if you don't use the PROFINET features that are normally provided by your development kit that you choose, then okay, then you do this by yourself, and you do the work twice. This is also possible, but can be done.